the Delorean. Okay? If you help people long enough, and you do good long enough, okay, you're gonna run into a situation where you have to make a choice. And that choice you gotta make is you either help them people, or you reach them people, or you maintain yourself. Okay? Check this out, this is what it's like. What if you was in a situation where you was giving money, okay? People raise money for you to go to a business trip to Mexico, okay? But in the process along the way, okay, you got caught up with somebody and they told you to go to Alaska. Now you're all the way out here in Alaska, okay? And you helping people, but now you ain't got enough gas money to get back to where you came from so you can go to Mexico. Now you can't do your own mission, right? Because you helping people all the way out in Alaska, okay? Now check this out. Sometimes people are so far away from being helped, okay? Sometimes people are so far away from doing the right thing that in order to reach them, you have to lose yourself in the process. That's why I'm saying you got to get back in the Delorean, okay? You got to get back in the Delorean. There's people out here that's been burnt out. There's people out here that's been infected, okay? There's people out here that's dealt with so many people that the people that they dealt with is in their mind, living in their head rent-free, and now they can't help the next person. Now they not the person they used to be because they've been infected by somebody else's selfishness. The selfishness is going around, and a lot of people being infected. One person being selfish, so then the other person had to be selfish to recover from the selfish person that was selfish to them first. And it's going around, okay? So check this out. Sometimes you gotta just get back in the Delorean, okay? Because sometimes there are problems that you can't solve. Okay? Sometimes there's situations that's in front of you that you would like to solve, but you can't solve because when you solve that problem or try to solve that problem, it's going to unsolve you. It's going to undo your solutions that work for you to help you get to where you got in the first place. Okay? So check this out. Imagine if the people from Back to the Future was in I Am Legend, okay? The Will Smith movie from 2007. Imagine if they tried to take the zombies with them to go to the future and go to the past to make sure they was all right? What do you think would happen? The zombies would tear up the equipment. They tear up the car, okay? They tear up everything, okay? They tear up the seats. They tear up the flux capacitor. They tear up the engine. They tear up the fuel. They tear up everybody, okay? Tear up the dock. Tear up the dog, okay? Then they can't get to where they need to go, right? Now check this out. Some people you can't help. Sometimes you in a situation, okay, where the majority of the people around you, you can't even help them no more, okay? It's not that you being selfish, okay? You got to do your work first. You got to do as much as you can to help people. But you might run into a situation where if you help them, you lose yourself in the process. Helping the zombie, but they tearing up your equipment, now you can't get back to 1985, okay? They tore up your equipment, now you can't get to your own time, okay? They tearing up your equipment, now you fired from your job because you dealing with them. You reacting to that person at your work, okay, that doing you wrong. Now the boss look at you, now you getting written up, okay? You can't let these zombies affect you and mess up what you got going for your own self. Sometimes you gotta just get back to the Lord. You can't always go forward with everybody. Sometimes you just gotta get back to the Lord. And see, we got a situation now where there's more people infected than it is not, okay? Check this out, I'm gonna say this again, like the I Am Legend movie, there's more people infected than it is not. There's more people infected with selfishness, self-centeredness, that you can't expect decent human interactions with most people, okay? That's how it is right now, okay? That's how it is right now. You're one disagreement, you're one argument from losing a friend of yours that you had 5-6 years. You one political vote or one political candidate away, one wall post, one post you like, any of that stuff, away from losing a friend that you had 10 years deep. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, because people are so selfish. They can't work nothing out. People are so selfish, they ain't gonna come to you and talk to you. People are too selfish for that. People are too selfish to get information for their own selves. People are so selfish that they can't even do things that help themselves in their own life where they would gain and other people would gain. Because they don't have delayed gratification no more. They too selfish. They so selfish they can't even wait for the second marshmallow if they wait an hour. They gotta have their marshmallow right now. They can't even sit across the room from somebody that they disagree with and hear the points that they had to say, because it's different from where they at. They too selfish. They so selfish that they get deceived by any politician or any speaker or any actor or any trendy person that get up here and say something that tickle their ear and tell them what they feel like hearing, because they so selfish. They so selfish, they'll sell you out for anything. They sell you out over a vaccine. They sell you out over your belief system. They sell you out based on who you support, what country you support, what country you don't support. They sell you out over because everybody's so selfish. And you got a situation now where you got kids coming up, kids that's in elementary school, and they don't even know what it's like to have friends. You got kids in elementary school, 20 people in their class, that go to recess with them, and they still don't have no friends because everybody is so selfish. Everybody been so affected by this selfishness of this age. And so you got kids living like I Am Legend, check this out, because everybody is selfish zombie around them, looking at their phones, don't know how to interact with nobody. They like the zombie from I Am Legend because everybody's so selfish. You will lose yourself if you try to help all these people and you don't check yourself first to make sure you are right. Sometimes you got to get back to the Delorean. Sometimes you got to reset, get back to the Delorean, okay? In the movie I Am Legend, check this out. He had to maintain himself by, check this out, he had to have small interactions, okay? He had to have small interactions that was reminiscent of the life that he was supposed to have, okay? Sometimes you gotta see the blueprint of what you're supposed to have. You gotta be in the DeLorean and realize, hey, this is how it's supposed to be. This is the car that came from my time. This time machine represent where I came from. I can't get out here and be changed by these other people, because if I get out here and spend too much time with them, they will undo me and I'll be infected and I'll be like one of them zombies. I gotta stay within my principles. I can't spend time with all these people no more. I can't get out here and do these things with all these people no more. Sometimes I gotta stay to myself, and if the only interaction I get to have is like Frank interaction with the guy in I Am Legend, okay, where he talking to a mannequin. If all you got is talking to old ladies in Walmart, then do that. If all you got is talking to people in Kmart and Target, then do that. If all you got is talking to people when you getting your coffee in the morning, then do that. And do that to the best of your ability. Do that from the perspective of the Lord. Treat them the way that you know they ought to be treated. Treat them decent. Be friends with them. Because check this out. That might be the only interaction you have, but that's a better interaction than spending all your time, effort, and energy trying to change people that's gonna change you if you hang around them too long. Because check this out. The reason why you need to make sure this is set up right is because it may be a day in 10 years where you may run into your future self. Okay, check this out now, just like in Back to the Future, okay? When Biff stole the time machine and went and helped his past self to set up his future, okay, check this out. Not that we Biff, not that we bad guys, but you may run into your future self in the future, okay, that need to know the things that you know now. Okay, check this out. It may be a kid in 10 years that you run into that they don't know what to do with their life because they see all these zombies in their time and they're ready to kill themselves, because nobody's giving them a blueprint on how to live amongst these people. But you gotta keep your DeLorean so you can keep your mindset, so you can keep your energy, so you can keep your principles, so that in 10 years, you can run into this kid and you can tell them how they're supposed to live. You can tell them how they're supposed to function. But you gotta maintain you first, because if you get infected, when you run into this kid in 10 years, you're gonna be the zombie that they see in everybody else. So you gotta make sure that you're okay, because if you don't make sure that you're okay and that you maintain your principles, you may affect somebody else down the line that needs your help. So that's why we gotta do this today. That's why you gotta go back to the DeLorean sometimes. That's why you gotta focus on the principles that you know you're supposed to stand on. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna hurt somebody else. Because somebody gonna need what you had to say later. Somebody gonna need what you went through later on. You ain't go through what you went through for your own self. You went through what you went through for somebody else. Because somebody gonna need that someday. So you gotta make sure you maintain what you have today. That's my message on the day. We gotta get back in the DeLorean, make sure we maintaining that so we can help the future generation.